welcome to Governance Indonesia. My name is Arleta Denisoro and welcome to the first episode. So for this program, I will take you and take a look at Indonesia's policy on various sectors. And today I'm at the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, and I will be chatting with the minister himself, Bapak Sandiaga Uno. Halo Pak Sandi, apa kabar?
Baik.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, Ibu Arleta, and thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for having me too right here at your office. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
So if this were the Oscars, who are you wearing and what is this?
This is a traditional costume representing the regencies of Lamongan in East Java.
Okay.
And this is done by a designer from Gemawira, which is a small medium enterprises group that support the local artisans. And every Tuesday we are wearing our national costume. So today is the East Java Day and we wear the...
So anyway, I really love the time having with you right now. So I'm going to chat a lot about things about your governance during the minister. So I hope you will tell me more about what you've been doing for the past year.
We'd love to
maybe we shall sit.
All right, we move to the favorite corner of ours.
Okay, so eventually we had our test, so it's safe to open our masks. But knowing that you are wearing this traditional clothing, I should be wearing my kabaya.
But you are already supporting the local.
I'm supporting the local
Indonesian artists.
Correct.
I see you're wearing that beautiful mask as well as the
belt.
The belt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Pak Sandi, talking about wonderful Indonesia, but before we go there, I just want to ask, how has it been ever since you've been appointed the minister? It's been 1 year, right? How are you enjoying all of this?
Well, enjoying may not be the right word, but enduring may fit better. But I'm in the job less than a year. This coming 23rd of December, I will basically hit the 1 year anniversary. And it has been really, I have been fortunate that we have a very good, strong team here in the ministry who have worked very hard. It's been challenging because of the COVID-19 situations and the industry with 34 million workers has been really facing tough situations and difficulties because the tourist arrivals are coming down significantly. Foreign tourists basically collapsed 80% last year. This year another 80%. So we're seeing situations of a meltdown and the foreign exchange earning from the sectors came down significantly. And also the creative economy sides have to do some adaptations in terms of how we move into a new normal with health protocols like cleanliness, health, safety and environmental sustainability. But all in all, there has been some highlights, there's been some challenges, and we just have to be grateful that Indonesia have been able to handle the pandemic relatively very well. We're just one of the 5 countries of significant populations in the world that is achieving level 1 according to WHO standard. So this is a remarkable achievement. The sectors is now recovering. But we should not be just surviving, but we should revive and thrive because the sector is tourism is about 14 million people having their livelihood depends on the sectors, and creative economy 20 million with culinary, fashions, and crafts dominating about 75%, but we have sectors such as applications, digital economy, photography, television,
so many things to
film,
cover.
musics are within the sector. So it has been tough, but we are taking the innovations route. This pandemic really forced us to innovate, to adapt, and to collaborate more.
So this COVID thing doesn't seem to be so wonderful. Do you think the brand Wonderful Indonesia, well, does it still relate to this condition?
Wonderful Indonesia have done relatively very strong in terms of brand equity. We've just done a survey whereby Wonderful Indonesia ranked top in terms of the logo and the theme of Indonesia as a wonderful destinations. But we need to shift, not just Wonderful Indonesia pre-pandemic, but Wonderful Indonesia during the pandemic and post-pandemic. We're shifting from quantity-based to quality-based type of tourism. We're shifting from the sun, sea, and sand to serenity, spirituality, and sustainability. So this is the big theme that would be covered by the Wonderful Indonesia umbrella brand.
So is that why it hasn't really changed the brand, but is that why it has shifted from wonderful to thoughtful?
Well, there was a discussions of moving from wonderful to thoughtful. We're still studying the data. Wonderful is still continue to be top of mind, just like Bali continue to be #1 destinations. So we're running the big data analysis, and thoughtful could be a sub-brand. There's also a brand, another sub-brand which covers the wellness tourism, herbal tourism. So Wonderful Indonesia could be the umbrella brand. It's pretty much like the omni channel for our brand equity, and then we could have the sub brands that would actually still embrace the Persona Indonesia spirits and value. Persona Indonesia, where it's still relevant until now, whereby we talk about clean, we talk about health, we talk about safety and environmental sustainability that would focus on experience and memories. So this is something that I guess a big homework for us to make sure that post-pandemic Indonesia will be a pandemic winner.
Okay, we'll talk more later after this break. Yes, I'm still chatting with the Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Pak Sandi. Pak Sandi, you mentioned earlier that the brand equity is stronger. And I saw on one of the news that you have given awards to about 50 co-branding. So what is that?
So Wonderful Indonesia is a brand that actually promote not just tourism, not just creative economy, but it promotes the country. So the strength of the brand would be, I guess, best if it could be complementary to other Indonesian leading brands. And not only Indonesian brands, but brands that are supporting job creations, the revival and the recovery of the economy. So we have been working with this 50 or so companies, and we awarded the co-branding program to them, and the award was given to the companies that have achieved during these difficult times increased collaborations and cooperations. And next year we want to grant more and work with more brands to make sure that wonderful Indonesia not only would be known in the region but globally, because some of these brands are that we are cooperating on the co-branding are truly global brands. So it's a win-win scenario. It's actually win-win-win. It's a win for tourism, it's a win for creative economy, and it's a win for the product that have been actually been co-branded together with Wonderful Indonesia.
So what's the criteria if you want to go brand with Wonderful Indonesia?
So basically, first, it has to have the quality, it has to have the commitment, it has to share the same values and philosophy of Indonesia being a unity and diversity, I guess, our national motto, and it has to promote the Indonesia tourism. It has to not only have the logo, but it actually speaks. The brand needs to speak about quality, sustainability, about cleanliness, about health, our aspect, about the type of values that we are supporting. And this is, they will be curated by a team. And we also want to make sure that it actually get amplified by not only our mode of communications, not only our channels, but also multiple channels across platforms. So this is something that fits into the 3 pillar strategies that we have been pushing: innovations, adaptations, and collaboration. So we'd like to innovate our way of promoting, not just basically using the old style of marketing, but we want to have the new normal type of marketing. We are adapting. This is a pandemic and economic challenges that we're facing, so we're adapting. And then the third is collaborations, because we believe that the combinations of the 2 brands can actually achieve more.
You were saying about innovations and adaptation. Now, according to the International Air Transport Association, estimates that travel will not return to pre-pandemic levels until 2024. So that will be like 2 years from now.
It will be 2 years from now, and this is a data that we're using as well, and that's why we are readjusting the target for visitors next year. It is a long way from the 2019 peak of 16 million plus, so we're only targeting for next year of about 1.5 to 2 million, possibly. Probably the upper range will be 3 to 4 million. In 2023, there will be another increase of 20 to 30%. And only in 2024 that we will hit double digit in terms of tourist arrivals from
Amen to that.
Foreign tourists. And this is in line with the data that we are receiving. But we do have the low-hanging fruits.
Which is?
Which is domestic tourists. Domestic tourists is actually now recovering. We're at baseline in terms of mobility of domestic tourists. We're hitting 280 million movements according to UNWTO numbers and standards. And we believe that with the right strategies, with the right adjustment, we will be able to hit close to 360 to 420 million of movements in the next years to come. So that in and around itself is already a major fundamental shift in terms of strategy. Our industries needs to adapt that, for instance, Bali, who's used to foreign tourists, have now making sure that they are able to cater to domestic tourists. And specialized tourist package such as MICE. Next year we will have G20, so it will be event driven. How event will be the major I would say, the prime movers of tourism. Events will lead some of the tourist arrivals coming into Indonesia. They come specifically for events, from weddings to meetings to conventions and to exhibitions. And this is something that I guess the industry will have to learn to adapt. And I'm sure we have we have tough entrepreneurs in the tourism and creative economy sectors.
I think they're resilient.
They're very resilient. They're very agile, and I'm really fortunate to be in partnership with them, and I hope we could work together much better going forward.
Okay, so domestic is growing, but in order to capture the foreign tourist, you're talking about innovation and adaptation. What about thinking about virtual tourism, like showing, we have so many wonderful places that can be seen through the cameras 360 degrees, and what do you think about that? Have you ever thought of it?
Technology is part of the innovations pillar, and we have the virtual reality, virtual tour, augmented reality.
You have done that already?
We have done that.
Oh, you've done that already.
So we have the platform for people who wants to basically have the experience of a 3D impact with I guess augmented reality, and we were working
That's
with
cool. Have you ever tried it?
With
it's
technology companies, but still it's not the same as actually being there.
I know, it's not the same.
But it's good to keep Indonesia and Bali in particular top of mind. But more importantly now, with social media, we're creating content, and content that is packaged for domestic as well as for the international travelers. So we are creating content such as in tourism village, in ecotourism. Sports tourism is huge now with triathlon, marathon, cycling.
I'm sure you
events.
love that because I know you love exercise.
I love exercise, and I think it's a good combinations. And we have content relates to coffee, culinary experience, cultural exhibitions, and heritage tourism, all the way to tourism. We have a
lot to offer.
We're so blessed, and we have a lot to offer.
I agree with you. We're rich in everything, in culture, in history, in abundance, our natural resources. We have a lot of sell, actually.
Yeah, we have a lot of sales, and our best sell would be our people, the hospitality, the culture. If you combine it with our nature, it's a winning formula.
Okay, this is what I like talking about you. I just ask one questions and he just flows with the answers. But we have to cut this session and welcome back, and we are down to our last segment with Pak Sandiaga Uno. Pak Sandi, this is our last segment, and there are still many questions that I would like to ask you. Pak Sandi, I know that you've been traveling quite a lot recently, visiting all those. How many villages did you visit?
We just completed roadshow to, in total, about 75 villages.
75.
We call them tourism village, but the program is actually focused on the 50 best tourism village, and we're so happy and delighted that among that 75 village that I visited, one made it to the best tourism village in the world, which is Desa Wisata Nglanggeran in Gunung Kidul, Yogyakarta.
I never been there before.
It's beautiful. They have.
What's so beautiful about it? Tell us.
It actually would take us to the pre-Jurassic era, whereby you see the karst formation, you see the beautiful mountains. It almost feel, and at night you feel like you're actually above the cloud. And it's
You're like in cloud nine.
it's like a cloud nine, and then you have the beautiful people, you have the food, you have the culture, and they have caves to explore, ecotourism. When I visited, there's an Italian couple who have been here for a year. They were planning to visit for 3 months.
They ended up a year.
They ended up a year, and this is the type of specialized tourist package that we're very strong, and this is something that we need to promote more. So, 50 best tourism villages, which is part of our core program now. It used to be just a program that I visited, this 50, and some of them I stayed overnight. It ended up like a spiritual journey. I learned so much about Indonesia, not just the tourism and the creative economy part, but about the Indonesia, the diversity, the national spirits, the philosophy of our country, the values, and how this people in the village are so optimistic about the future. And given the pandemic, given the challenges in the economic situations, they are our, I would say, the bright prospects for the development of this country. So we used to be thinking, we will build the villages. Now I started thinking that the villagers will build Indonesia. I think they would have the capacity to produce all the way from the food side to fashion, and so many, I guess, strength of our nations comes from this tourism village. And I'm so glad I did that 50, and we will actually gonna make the program even more collaborative next year. We're gonna increase the number of village tourism, because we have 1,831 villages, but I only got to visit maybe around 70, 75. So that would be another core program. The other program that I would like to touch is the creative economy part.
Okay.
This is one resilient, innovative, and creative group of people. Indonesians.
Yes, we are.
Indonesians are, you know,
we're very
we underestimate
yes,
ourselves.
I know.
We, you know, during these tough times, we keep on smiling. We keep on finding ways to find solutions.
We are so compassionate.
The best sides of humanity actually came out during this pandemic. People helping each other, and people, the circular economy that people talk about is actually happening in the village. People helping each other. People actually solve the issues of the health issues, educations together.
Yeah.
And the gotong royong part, which is our ways of helping each other, it's truly remarkable. I'm completely amazed, and I think we have very good chance of making it the top 5 economies in the world by 2045 if we continue to focus on our strength. Fourth of the economy.
Well, I said fourth because one of my friend's daughter, she's studying in the UK, and then I'm not sure what she's actually studying, but she studied that Indonesia in the future will be like the fourth biggest, largest.
Top 5. We hope
5.
number 4.
Yeah. Okay, but talking about this COVID, and we have to, we have lots of, we have the National Economic Recovery Program, and you have chosen for one of the subsectors for the creative economy is the movies, film. Why is that?
Film is our nation's pride. I always remember how after the Great Depressions of the United States and the world in the 1930s, that Hollywood was leading and becoming the agent of change. Hollywood produced the type of movie that brings optimism to the people. They lower the prices, they bring the spirit of the people so that they could raise up and face the challenge and overcome the difficulties. Movies move. And this is something that we want to do here. And it's also a sector that actually create a lot of jobs. One particular movie could involve 200 people. Look at our session here. So many people are involved. And this is actually good for job creations. So I'm glad that Bapak Presiden, Pak Jokowi, gave us the go-ahead, the green light. So we raised close to 200 billion rupiah to help the promotional part, the pre-productions and production part for the movie industry or for the film. I'm glad that Pak Wisnu Tama, my predecessor, and Pak Triawan Munaf actually helping within the program. They help curate the films that we are helping to assist in terms of moving it along in the production chains from ideas into the actual movies that could be promoted.
So I guess you made the right choice for choosing film as a subsector.
Well, it is actually a collaboration. The stakeholders came to us. The stakeholders wrote an open letter to the president. The president responded, and we're here. We formulated the program. We executed and implemented, and we're very fortunate that almost 90% of the budgets have been absorbed. And this is something that we want to do more maybe next year.
Okay, but the thing is, I know that you have created lots of programs, and maybe not all has been implemented. You still have 2 more years left. So what's the priorities now? Which programs, which first, and what will you do to implement them?
Well, effectively, we have until October 2024, so we have 3 years, plus minus. So we have a major tourism homework to do. There are 13 subsectors with around 14 million people that we need to help. And on the creative economy side, we have 17 subsectors with around 20 million people having their livelihood depends on the sector. So all in all, it's 34 million. So I will focus on jobs. I'll make sure that they would have good quality jobs, and actually we're able to add to the job creations through innovations, adaptations, and collaborations. We'd like to bring in more technology and the digitizations. I would call it the unstoppable global trend. Bringing digital in with focus on sustainability, as well as how we adapt within the new reality of prioritizing against the health issue. I'm very, very confident that these sectors will be the next locomotive of the Indonesian economy, because we have been using natural resources, consumption as part of the prime movers of the economy. But I would believe creative economy, for every dollar that you invest in creative economy and tourism, you'll get 6 more jobs. So this is something that we need to put more priorities in, and I'm very optimistic that we will face the future with good resilience and optimism.
Pak Sandi, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure chatting with you. And thank you so much for joining us here at Governance Indonesia. I'm Arleta Denisworo, and I'll see you in the next episode.